What's going on, everybody? They saved the best reactions for last. Welcome to another Raw Real Review with the gang. We got a guest appearance by Simba James Garfield in the building. We got Miss M in the building. How you doing, Miss M?
Doing good after that episode.
They saved the best reactions for last. Sorry we're a little late, but got a lot of great play-in games going on and whatnot. But we're here for our third week of Moon Knight. And man, it has been a great and amazing show thus far. Like, I've been watching this show and honestly, it's probably like the first time. Well, I don't know how my reactions was. Well, it's funny because it's all online. I can't think off the top of my head how my reactions was, like, just watching 3 episodes in a series and, like, honestly, like, not having like any issue like with anything.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, like the show is like done a really great job of just being so like just good, like even piece by piece. Like, honestly, I do feel like it's honestly something that's probably better if you watched it as a movie, just like the whole thing. But it's really done a great job at like chopping everything up, you know, as far as like episode 1, 2, 3. This is what we want to talk about in this episode. And we're already at the halfway point of Moon Knight already.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
we need more episodes.
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts on just the series so far?
Every week it feels like a movie. It feels like we're watching a mini movie, and it just they've done so well with all of the special effects and the acting and all of it. It feels like a movie every week, and it's crazy that we're already halfway through.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
Before we move forward, I want to also say R.I.P. to, I guess one of the actors died. I can't remember his name off the top of the head, but man, R.I.P. He did a pretty good job in this episode as well, too, man. And it just sucks, you know, seeing really talented actors or just anybody. It really sucks seeing somebody pass, unfortunately. But R.I.P. to my guy.
Gaspard Ulliel.
Gaspard
Ulliel.
That. Yeah, R.I.P. to my guy. Sending positive vibes to his family and whatnot. But yeah, the show has been stellar. We're gonna break down episode 3. And just talk about just like what we loved, what we liked, you know, what we disliked about the episode. And it's been really good so far. It's been really good. We actually stayed up and watched it last night. And I don't know if you caught this, but like I heard a lot of people talking about this too, but there might be a third personality that we don't know about, you know?
I didn't necessarily catch it in the episode, but I've been hearing a lot about it too.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that? Is it too many for one short show? Or do you think it's more paying tribute to the comics? Because he had like 5 in the comics, right?
Yeah. My initial thought was it was Steven, Mark, and Kanju as like all 3, you know, in
as
the
a third
same body. But I'm guessing that there's this whole third personality that we don't even know about. Or that's kind of like doing like other stuff, because like I didn't even know, like, as far as his character, like this was him before, you know, the whole transformation. Like I didn't know he had like multiple personalities. Like I thought this was like a result of whatever happened like,
with Khonshu.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting for me to like see that just play out and whatnot. And I'm loving, I ain't gonna lie, like I'm really loving, I'm trying to say this, Oscar Isaac. Really loving his performance so far in this show, man. He is killing it. I feel like every episode he takes it up a notch.
Right.
Like literally every episode he's like doing something and I'm like, man, bro, you good as, like, this is probably the best I've ever seen him acting wise. Like I've seen him in a couple projects, but this is probably the best I've seen him, because like he shows so much range, you know, just with this character, being able to play different personalities, you know, just stuff like that. Like if I were to see this man on the street, I think I would believe him.
Right.
That's how great of a like an acting job that he has done so far on this show. So shout out to Oscar Isaac. Shout out to Ethan Hawke too, man. Both of these guys are giving like really like stellar performances. Like You definitely got to give a shout out to these two guys really carrying the show, man.
Yeah, I think the entire cast, whoever casted this show did a really good job. Like every character, Layla, I even like Khonshu's character. Like he's funny and he's quirky. And later on in the episode, where he's like, I thought he would talk. Like he's just
yeah.
like it's
that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
pretty funny,
I think everybody's doing an amazing job acting wise, and especially Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
And like you said, every episode it feels like he just does better and better and better.
Does Oscar deserve the Oscar for this show?
If anybody ever has, I would think he did, because this is not easy.
Yeah, it's really not easy. And like, people gotta understand, like, he's literally acting against himself. You know, so like when you see scenes with him talking to Steven or like Mark or whatever, like it's literally him, like he like to like nail down the lines like he has, and just like to act as two different characters. I don't think people understand like how difficult that is.
100%.
Like, it's one thing acting as one character in the movie. Like, this is the character. You gotta know the lines, you know, really sell it. This man is doing two characters. It might be even three characters, you know?
Yeah.
And one, like, in a show.
Yeah.
In a show. A 6-hour show. Two different characters.
It's almost like, I mean, he had to do a lot of extra, because you gotta think about it. A movie's 2 hours, right? Roughly two, anywhere from 2 to 3. This is, to think of it as like a 6-hour movie. So that was a lot of acting, a lot of scenes, a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
That's a lot, especially for the type of acting he's doing in this show. He's done an amazing job. Weren't we watching something where it was saying his brother was actually helping him learn his lines?
Yeah.
Which I think would help a lot. I'm assuming his brother looks a lot like him, but man, shout out to his brother, because Oscar's giving us the performance of his life with this.
He really is, man. Like, I love this show from top to bottom so far. Like I said on last week's reaction, like I don't at this point I really don't even care about a cameo. Like I feel like in all the shows I was waiting for the cameo. I was like, ooh, give me a cameo. But this show is really doing like a lot of, you know, world building on its own. We kind of got some stuff we want to talk about later that's kind of maybe confusing for the average casual viewer, even us, honestly.
Shoot.
But other than that, I'm loving what I'm seeing so far.
Me too.
So let's go ahead and break down the episode scene by scene. What did you think about her intro? I can't remember her name.
Layla?
Yeah, Layla.
It caught me by surprise. I just didn't expect it to start with her in the episode, and it kind of, I mean, it's kind of out of the ordinary, because she's talking to, I don't know who this lady is, but she obviously knows them for a long time. And the comment that was interesting was this one. I wonder what your father would think of his little scarab now. So her dad had that scarab. So I mean, she's kind of portrayed in this episode, at least, as more like an Indiana Jones character. Yeah. I want to know, like, her backstory now. I want to know, like, what her dad was into and how that even ties in with Oscar Isaac. Like, did she have the scarab first and Oscar Isaac then was Khonshu? Did they know each other before? I just want to know that whole backstory. It got me intrigued in that way. But it's definitely interesting to see Layla get a little bit more of Layla in this episode.
Yeah.
And I mean, she has those relationships. Like, this lady seems like she cares. She's like, maybe I call me sentimental, but I just care, or whatever she said about her traveling. So it's just interesting to see that side of this character. What did you think of it?
Man, what I'm getting from Layla from this show, she is literally like archaeologist gone wild. Like, this, like, she's smart as hell. Like, they got this whole shop where they can make, you know, different identities and passports and stuff like that. So, like, not only is she like into like pyramids and stuff like that, like they definitely like in some stuff, like, you know. So I'm curious about, like, I'm honestly like, with them starting like the show or this episode the way they did, I am interested and curious to see more of her backstory and just like, you know, like, cause she can fight too. You know, she was throwing hands. She was, you know, threw a dude. Like, she just destroyed the one dude, I think, on episode 2. That was crazy.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Just threw him in the trash, pretty much. So I'm definitely looking forward, and I want to see more of Layla's backstory. I want to see where her and Mark, like, you know, like, we probably won't get that. Maybe we'll get like a little flashback or something, so like where they first met or something like that. But you know, I would like to see like where that started. Like, you know, how was Mark when they first met? You know, like, I mean, because they're married technically in the show, so it's like, You know, I would like to see some early days, early moments. You know, because it sucks to be introduced to these two characters in this situation. You know, like I would like to see like where were you guys like. When were you guys having fun? You know, doing fun stuff. You know, I personally would like to see that. You know,
I would too.
So
that's why we need more episodes than just 6. Give me that character development.
Yeah, we definitely need more than 6 Marvel. But depending on the show, though. Depending on the show.
Yeah, this is true. You don't want more than 6 of Hawkeye?
No.
Okay. No, it was interesting in this scene too, where the lady is talking to Layla too, and she's telling her it's a hard thing exhuming the past. It's easy to get stuck, you know. And that's it's interesting that she says that, like, you would fixate on what hurts you, you know, and Layla's like, well, I won't do that. And she's like, well, you are already. Meaning Mark, I think. And she's saying, oh, I miss him too. So she knows who Mark is. They have a history with this lady too. Like, it seems like whatever's going on, you know, with Mark, you know, she's telling her, avoid your old haunts, the ghosts in your closet type of thing. She's like, you know, I worry about you. It's just interesting that she's kind of even reminiscing about Mark too. Like, she knew him. She's like, I cared about him too, or whatever she said. You know, and she knows Layla's going after him to help him or whatever else. But I don't know. Like, it's just, I know he's trying to push her away for the right reasons, but I really do hope he finally lets her in and doesn't like keep her so far away that, you know, she just isn't there one day. But it doesn't seem like that. She seems like the type that's going to, she's having a fake passport made to go follow him in Egypt, you know. But
serious.
So it's just, I don't know, it shows the caring behind them. We haven't really seen that part of it, and you're saying you want more of it, but it's nice to see that, you know, she cares, and so does Layla, obviously. If she wouldn't be going if she didn't. So it was a good scene. It was a good intro scene. It did throw me off a little bit. I do like how they did the Egyptian music over the Marvel intro too. That was pretty cool. I love how they're just tying in everything Egypt. And
like, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. Like, the scene, I think it was in Mad Rapport or something like that, or something. I'm probably saying it wrong, but they were in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mad Rapport?
It was Mad Rapport?
Mad Rapport. Mm-hmm.
That was some beautiful stuff. Like, I loved everything I seen with that city, but I love the location for this whole show. Like, I don't know if it's something that's, because to me it's something that's, it feels like it's unfamiliar.
It is.
In a way, you know? It's not in New York, you know, running around. You know, it's like...
It's so different for the MCU,
yeah,
but it's good.
It's so different and just so, like, I don't even remember the last, like, movie or show I watched that was based on, like, Egypt and just, like, gods and stuff like that, you know? So I think knowing so little about, like, just, you know, Egypt and just, like, the pyramids and all this stuff, I don't know if that's what this show has going for it that makes me, like, so, like, interested, like, or not. But I really am, just because, like, it's different, you know?
We were both fascinated with Egypt as kids, too. Like I told you, I wanted to be archaeologists. So stuff like this, I'm like, this is right up my alley. I was all for it in the beginning, and just even, I know they didn't film on location. I think they filmed it, like, in Budapest. But damn, if it doesn't look just like Egypt, if it doesn't make me feel like we're in Egypt.
Yes, shout out to whoever did the set design, because you could have fooled me. Like, I think that's what Egypt looked like. You know?
Right.
So like, great job.
Yeah. What do you think about this fight scene? And to really introduce Mark as a mercenary, and you get to first glimpse of him fighting.
Mark is badass, man. This dude is badass. This man Mark, like, he definitely got the skills without the Moon Knight, you know, powers. So I think that was cool. That was a cool thing for them to show us, like, who is he without the suit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he was actually throwing hands and, like, going crazy, so it's cool to see that he's an actual, like, legit hand-to-hand fighter, and, like, he's just not relying on, you know, Moon Knight.
The suit.
For his powers. I really am curious to see, like, how he originally died, though. You know, like, did he get shot? Did he get stabbed? You know, I really want to see that, and I'm sure we're gonna see it play out. But I'm really, like, honestly, since the show has been out, like, has there been any really, like, twists for you? Like, do you expect, like, because, like, I feel like we're learning a lot of new information as we watch the show, right? Just because, like, we're just watching it and just for how good it is, right?
Right.
But do you think we're gonna get, like, a huge twist? You know, like how Loki was, where we thought the timekeepers were, like, the, you know, they were the thing, but then we find out in the next episode that they, you know, they're nothing pretty much. Like,
you know what's crazy? Like, I think we will get a twist, but this show has just been so fast paced, and I've been so into it. I haven't had time to be like, or to even sit and be like, I think this might happen. I think this might happen. I have no clue, because this is just such a different aspect of the MCU. You know, this is like our first introduction to ancient gods. You know, I mean, we know about Thor, but it's just a completely different like realm. So I don't even, if, you know, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some kind of, you know, what's the term used? Not spoiler. Like a big payoff type of thing, or surprise. I couldn't even begin to tell you what it would be, because, I mean, gods are a different kind of power, you know?
Yeah. And we've seen a lot of gods already in the MCU. That was something we were talking about earlier before the stream. Like I said, we're loving what we've seen so far from the show. But I just think Marvel is definitely going to have to address, like, just a lot of different stuff, honestly. Because I'm loving Moonlight. I say Moonlight. I'm loving Moon Knight.
Oh,
Loving Moon Knight. But for me, it's kind of adding on to that layer of problems that I said, you know. That was pretty cool. We just seen this scene where like he was pretty much rocked, and then he snaps and wakes back up, and
he just stabbed a guy.
Slaughtered just two guys randomly, you know. And he's like, Steven, you know, what did you do, you know? So it's like, if it wasn't Steven and it wasn't Mark, you know, who was this other personality? Is it Kanju, that whole, you know? Like, that was something that I was trying to figure out the whole episode.
He did. You know, it's interesting that you say that in this scene specifically. He looked meaner in some scenes, like his facial expressions.
Yeah, he looks so mean.
Yeah, and it just looks like Stephen Grant, you know, is very sweet, very kind, but doesn't want to hurt anybody. Mark is gonna do it if he needs to.
Yeah.
This guy, like, just the look on his face just looks like he's like, I'll just drop you just cuz.
Yeah.
But does he switch? I mean, I know he switches in between Steven and all of them, but yeah, I don't know. He just looked meaner.
Still has a heart, because even when the kid fell, he's like, oh, and Conjure's like, oh.
I really thought he would talk. Yeah. I mean, they were mercenary, or they were, you know, not good people at the end of the day, so I'm sure Conjure's like, nah, you know. But yeah, it seems like he's having his own inner argument with himself. Steven and Mark are having their own inner arguments, and they're like, you did it, no, you did it, when it could be this third personality. I do want to ask, what do you think about Kanju in the daylight?
You know, it's funny just to see him chilling. Even though he's not actually there, it's funny just to see him randomly just chilling, just couple squat, just
one leg up, arm on it,
like,
just
dude, you know,
chilling.
he's really, like, he was kind of spooky. I would say the first episode, maybe second episode a little bit, but about the third episode, like, he's pretty, like, he just pops up. Dude, you know, he's not as, like, spooky or like, just creepy, like, anymore, you know?
Yeah.
He's kind of like, he has, like, an interesting role, you know? Like, we learn more about him in this episode, obviously, but it's just, I'm really curious to, like, what is the deal? If he were to leave Mark, is Mark dead? You know? Because he made the warning, I think it was in the second episode, saying, I already got my next, you know, my next person. So, I don't know. Those are questions I'm still trying to figure out. But this scene, when the whole sky went dark.
He did a whole solar eclipse.
Like, oh, man. Like, that was some... That
looks so cool.
It did look cool. It really did look cool. And we found out from my boy, Emergency Awesome. Because I thought he blocked the sun for the whole world.
I did too.
I thought he blocked the sun just for everybody. But what we found out is that it's only in Cairo. How do you say it? Cairo? Cairo. And that's where he blocked it. And this whole scene with the gods just meeting up and, like, we're just seeing, like, their avatars, that was a, like, amazing scene. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
right.
I think when that scene came on, like, I didn't even breathe. Like, I was just soaking it in and just like, wow, all right, this is happening. This is going on.
Right.
But, you know, after like watching the scene, like that's where we kind of talked into that like territory of like what Marvel is like. So, all right, so these are gods as well, right?
Yeah.
In their own little like branch or family or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do they compare against the Eternals or the Celestials or like Thanos?
Yeah.
Or even like the TVA, or like
Yeah.
we need like Marvel. Listen to you, boy, man.
Mm-hmm.
We need like some kind of chart or a picture that shows us like who's over who and like
Yes.
who like we need a tier list, Marvel. We did like Marvel. If at any time you want to come out with a tier list, it will be right now. Like let us know who's over who's the most powerful, who can do this, who can do that. Cause like the Marvel universe is really like expanded like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it first started, we kind of knew who was like
the big bad.
Not even a big bad, but we knew on a scale to like who's stronger. We knew Thor. Like there was at one point where Thor was a god in the MCU, god. And we knew he's a god, so he can like take a lot of stuff. And then we get introduced to Thanos. He's not a deviant.
He's a celestial, I think. I believe he's a half celestial.
Yeah, he's like half celestial. So then we're introduced to Thanos, and we're like, okay, he's powerful, and he gets more powerful with the Infinity Stones. Great, we got that. That was the most basic and simple way to like explain it to us as the fans. Now we in a realm where there's so many different gods and different just power levels, different just people changing time and controlling time. Like Marvel, give us a flowchart. Mm-hmm. Who's the most powerful? Because like I'm not even like I hate to bring Shang-Chi in this, but it's like what are like those are technically gods. The dragons? Right?
Yeah.
In the whole in
their culture.
Yeah. So it's
That's
like
interesting.
So this is a god in this culture, right?
Yeah, Egyptian culture.
So it's like
how do they rank?
Yeah,
among
like
each other, over each other. That's a good point.
Yeah, and like I hate for it to be something to where like we're running into a thing where like there just so happens to be like an evil person in China or an evil person in Egypt, and a hero steps up from like I would like I just think I don't know moving forward if we can like take another bad, to be honest.
Like so?
I don't
too many right now.
I don't think we can take another villain that's like if it's like a simple villain like how Hawkeye was, it was kind of street level people. We can get that. We can do so many of them. It don't matter. But when it comes to like gods and just stuff from other realms, like I think we gotta slow down on that.
Yeah, you're gonna start to lose some people with that.
I think we gotta slow down because it's already it's kind of cluttered with just who should we be worried about?
Yeah, which one?
Yeah, like what's really going on?
So just to clarify, Thanos is not a celestial, but he is an Eternal.
He's an Eternal.
He's an Eternal from planet Titan, but he's not a Titan.
Okay, so
he is an Eternal.
So he's an Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got that answer, but we need the answers to all these other guys and just villains or whatever you want to call them. But that's all I just wanted to say about the whole just the God thing. Like we really need to figure out like what the hell's going on.
I just want to know who's more powerful than like others. Like, is Kang the one we should be worried? Like you were saying, should we worry about him the most? Should we worry about these gods if they get pissed off? Like, I don't know. It's a good question.
Like they just introduced a whole different set of like gods inside of this pyramid. Mm-hmm. So it's like for me, I'm like, do we need to worry about them?
Yeah, are they gonna come into? And this wasn't even all of them either. This was like 6 or 7 out of the 9.
That's what I'm saying. Like this ain't even all. It's like. All right, you're Marvel. Mm-hmm. You guys are kind of confusing me here. So, but I'm pretty sure Marvel knows what they're doing.
Only hope.
Multiverse of Madness is coming out, so maybe that'll explain something. But it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of craziness going on in the MCU right now.
It's a lot of madness, right?
And this is supposed to be set after Spider-Man, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Huh.
I don't know. I trust Marvel. I really do trust Marvel. You can go ahead and start the.
No, I was gonna say this whole scene of them in the pyramid. Like I loved seeing Steven as Mark is walking into the pyramid. Steven and the reactions like, oh my God, we're going this side, the Great Pyramid of Giza. I'm like, that's how I would have felt. I was such an I would love. That's one of my lifelong dreams is to be in one of these pyramids. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's a thing. Mm-hmm. I definitely want to be in a pyramid one day and just experience that. I've always.
I mean, if you want to offer up your soul to one of the gods, look.
I don't go that far, but you know.
See the inside,
right?
You see all kind of different stuff. Yeah.
You know, it's an exclusive tour that I'm not sure if I'm ready to take just yet, but you know.
You ain't ready for all that?
Not right now. Looks like all the avatars are taken, or all the gods are taken anyway, so we're good.
That's crazy.
What did you think about the way that the gods talk and communicate through their avatars? Do you think this is an interesting way that they...
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah?
Like, I thought it was really cool. Like, I love the whole scene, to be honest. Like, just even the gods talking and, like, just bringing everybody in. And that's why I was talking about earlier with just Mark's range. Because Khonshu was speaking, like, through him on this scene. You know?
Khonshu was, yes. Mm-hmm.
And just for him to be like just going with the motions and just like he's an incredible actor.
Gosh.
Like I can't praise Oscar Isaac enough. He's a truly incredible actor.
He really is. Just this scene alone with it. Yeah, he had to do like a whole new person kind of thing when Khonshu's speaking through him. A new voice, new person. Like this man went through so many acting, or I guess roles in this one role.
That's what I'm saying, bravo.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's man. Hats off to this guy because damn.
Yeah.
I do think it was interesting though in this scene because I guess Hathor, however you pronounce it, is supposed to be like an old friend of Khonshu's. Okay. But he never mentioned. She's like, surely she mentioned Khonshu, you know, and he's like, no, he doesn't talk about the gods. And he's like, not. She's like, not even old friends. So this made me want to know Khonshu's backstory now. There's a lot of backstories I want to know about now as a result of this show, and I'm a little worried that 6 episodes
isn't enough.
Yeah, in the next 3 episodes, are they going to be able to wrap up everything and tell me what I want to know? Mm-hmm. And do you think there's going to be a Moon Knight 2? What do you think? Early prediction.
Well, I think there will be a season 2 of Moon Knight.
Sorry, yeah, I should say season 2.
It's too early for me. I don't know. I think I gotta get to like at least episode 5 because like we know he's gonna be in MCU, right?
Right.
Right now I'm just gonna say no. Right now.
Okay.
I think we'll see a season 2 if there's like super demand for it. But right now I don't think it's in Marvel's plans to make a season 2. I think the plans is to cross him over to like a future movie and like, you know, have him or just cross him over with just whatever new stuff they're trying to develop. I don't know if there's room for Moon Knight season 2, to be honest.
Damn, I would want it.
I mean, just with the slate that Marvel has, like, you know, it's they got a lot on their hands right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's selfish reasons. I'm more about it because I'm like, ooh, I want to learn more.
Like, I would love to see it, but it's just with Marvel's got a lot of stuff that they gotta address. You know, that's why I'm saying I'm really hoping that, like, I'm glad we got these shows and, like, even the movies that have came out. But it's like, these movies have done nothing but make us ask more questions. Like, they haven't, I mean, they gave us some answers. But they gave us more questions than answers, I think.
I wonder if that was the intent. Like, to continue keeping you interested.
It could be the magic formula. You know what? It could be, actually.
I mean, and maybe their intent is to have a bunch of different, like, there's an Egyptian one, and there's a space one, and then there's also the Earth one. Like, all these different areas in case people are interested. Like, they have the Blade aspect, which is vampires. Mm-hmm. They have this Egyptian version, which is like the gods. Like, there's different things for different people to be interested in. It's just with Marvel, everything crosses over.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. Like, this has to make sense with the other stuff that you're introducing or that has come in the past. So they can't just do one-offs, unfortunately. And I mean, I hope they don't leave Moon Knight as a one-off just because, I mean, like you said, he's going to have to be introduced into the MCU at some point. I would just love for the show to continue and just educate me about the gods some more. Like, Even if you keep him in the MCU itself, and maybe he comes back for some Moon Knight 2 scenes.
Yeah.
But at least give me that backstory, you know? I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a season 2, but you're right. I think we do have a lot.
I mean, I want to see a season 2. Like, don't get me wrong. But my thing is I just don't see where it fits.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I feel like, see, this is where I hope Marvel is just not running into this. But with the movies, just the movies alone, I felt more caught up with what's going on. Right?
Right.
Like,
now,
I felt like the shows were supposed to be kind of like fillers for the movies, but the shows have done nothing but, you know, make us ask more questions. Majority of the shows.
Yeah.
I won't say all the shows, but majority of the shows have made us answer more questions. And I just thought that the shows are kind of like the shows have answered some questions, but I don't know. Because even this show is giving me questions. It's not answering anything.
Could they have been like pre-movie, like obviously introducing the different types of movies? Like maybe we'll get our answers later on in movies, like almost kind of, because I know you're one of your biggest complaints, rightfully so, has been the connection between the shows and the movies. And they kind of connected Madripoor, at least in this show.
Yeah, I love that.
With Falcon and Winter Soldier. So they're starting to do that, and then Wanda obviously is being connected, you know, in Multiverse of Madness with WandaVision.
That's technically probably will be the first movie. That technically will be the first show that crossed over to a movie.
To a movie, yes, yeah. Well,
you think of anything else that came out?
I was gonna say Eternals, but no, because none of it, like, yeah, no.
None of the shows crossed over into the movie.
Yeah.
Even Spider-Man, nothing crossed over into the movie. I mean, we've seen the new Falcon building, but they got destroyed. So, you know.
Right. That
or the new Captain America building, but
yeah.
So
no, at least they're starting to make the connections for these. So at least it's a start. So maybe the movies going forward, maybe these shows, the first round was just introducing us to the realm of what's going to be the multiverse, obviously. So I don't know.
Like I said, this is nothing against Moon Knight. Nothing against Moon Knight, but it's like we see these gods in the tomb, and it's like, oh, like. Now we gotta worry about these other gods in the future.
Right.
It's like, damn, like my mind can only focus on so many villains at a time, Marvel.
This is true. Yeah, it is a lot.
Like Jesus.
I did notice as we were watching this too that I can't remember which god he is. I don't know if he's Osiris or which god, but he said you've been banished for nearly exposing us, Khonshu. So that's what he did the first time, I guess, when they banished him, for almost exposing him. I wonder if that's where Mark died, like when Khonshu first tried to expose them. But maybe early prediction. Okay. That could be where Khonshu tried to expose them because of what maybe Arthur Harrow was trying to do. I honestly feel like, and I don't know if it was Emergency Awesome or who had mentioned that the bodies that you see when they're trying to explain Mark's past when he was at the at the dig site, those they don't show him killing him. Could that have been Arthur killing him and Khonshu was trying to stop him, and the only way to do it maybe was exposing who he was? I don't know. However they tie that part in, that's what I think might be the big deal. Maybe it could be where Khonshu first got banished. And it would make sense because, I mean, you know, Arthur has said he was his former avatar and all of that. Yeah. And I don't know. It really seems like Khonshu ignited this bad guy that is Arthur, you know?
Yeah. Like,
so, I don't know.
And we're kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but like, when that scene happened.
What scene?
It's like, I mean, because we're learning more and more about Khonshu's and, what's his name? Ethan Hawke's.
Arthur Harrow?
Yeah, we're learning more about Khonshu's and Arthur's like relationship. Mm-hmm. We're learning more and more about that, like as the show, like, you know, keeps going forward. And it's like Ethan Hawke, he's like a bad dude, but it's like kind of feel for him a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Like you just really like. Yes, he's evil as hell, just taking souls from people randomly. Just, you know, hey, I'm the judge now. But it's like somebody did that to him. You know, he even said it. Like, he wasn't like this. Like, you know, one of the gods took over him, and he was doing what he wanted.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to feel. It's kind of hard to, like, you know, like, who's the real villain here?
It's interesting that you say that too, because they're telling Khonshu in this scene, you know, we didn't abandon the humans, they abandoned us. Like the gods have a bone to pick with, you know, the humans, and they're saying that they just trust their avatars to carry out their purposes, but they don't reveal themselves to the humans without calling attention to themselves. And I'm like, what did the humans do? You know, and that's what Khonshu's trying to call them back and saying, hey, the humans need us. They need the might of gods. The avatars aren't enough. We need to stop Amit. I want to know what the humans did to piss off these gods, you know?
They're definitely like, nah.
I want to know that backstory of it now. And it's like, I know John Campea and them were talking about it earlier. Did this scene kind of pull us away from Mark Spector and Stephen Grant and push us more into the realm of wanting to learn more about Khonshu and the gods? Do you think that happened? Do you feel like that? Because I definitely want to learn some more.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, for me, it's more of like, I'm kind of getting tired of this line in Marvel movies. Like, we were told not to interfere, or we couldn't interfere with humans. You know, like I feel like I've heard that once. I don't want to hear it again from like a different like. Come on.
They didn't want to meddle in the affairs of man.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Like, look, we've heard that, like, you can't recycle the same line, you know, with, like, let a year pass before you say that line in the show or movie again. But we literally just heard this in Eternals. Like, what kind of, like, I mean, if, with Eternals, they were scared of, what was his name, Tiamat or whatever his name?
Oh, Arishem?
Yeah,
Tiamat was in the earth.
They were scared of him, and that's why they didn't do nothing. They were just doing what they were told. And now we got the gods saying, like, well, they pretty much saying we don't rock with the humans. Like, they don't rock with us, you know? So it's like, how long is this going to go on? Like, honestly, I do not want to see another series or another show where another realm of gods or just people we didn't know existed are around, and they're like, oh, we just didn't do nothing after the snap because, you know, like, no. Like, I would love to see, like, honestly, Marvel, I'm surprised, like, they even, like, been cooking this up, but I would love to see a show, like, during the snap of, like, people trying to figure stuff out, or, like trying to pick up the pieces, or, like, dealing with threats now that like, half the world is going, you know?
100%.
I would love to see a show like that.
Why is that not a show?
Like, I'm really tired of picking up after the snap, like, I get it. I'm tired of, like, after Endgame. I'm really tired of a week after. Oh, 6 months, 2 years after, like, stop it. Like, if y'all go do some new stuff, show us some stuff that happened during the snap and how it affected, like, this, you know?
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
You can't tell me for 5 years nobody did anything. There was no aliens. There was nothing.
Like, this show could have been placed during the snap. Like, it could have been placed during the snap and them trying to do all this while, like, nobody's around. And then by the end of the show, we fast forward to where he is currently in MCU. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm getting tired of just jumping ahead in the timeline 3 years after the snap, then go back a year, then go to Christmas. Then, like, come on, man. Like, we gotta get together with this organization of, like, when is this? Like, Marvel, for the last time, please give us dates. Like, I love the show. It's great, but, like, I think that's one of the biggest difficulties probably Kevin Feige is gonna have to deal with, just organizing everything. Yeah. Because, like, we're getting stellar shows and movies, but it's like, I guess once you build this whole universe of things, you always have to connect it some way, you know?
Yeah, it just is, or it just exists as far as time. I think we kind of got like a little, and I don't know, I'm speaking for myself. I think during Black Widow, Black Widow? No, it was during Hawkeye. Like, my favorite scene of the entire Hawkeye series is when Yelena comes back from her snap. It's been 5 years.
Yes.
But that whole scene, I was like, damn, I want some more. Like, let me know.
Yes.
What happened? Because, I mean, that probably happened for a lot of people. It happened to Aunt May. She showed up in an apartment, you know, right, where somebody else had bought it in her 5 years of being gone. Show me, like, different stories of that and how people kind of dealt with that. I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier kind of dealt with it a little bit in that he was struggling money-wise, but that doesn't tell me like what the struggles he went through during the snap. That show didn't take place during the snap.
Nope.
Should it have? Could they have done flashbacks to show us how Falcon was living during the snap? That would have been cool. You know, there's a lot of different like even scenes that you can continue to place in. I don't mind Marvel continuing to reference the snap, but you can't just reference it and not just give me like some glimpses of it at least. Help me understand it more from somebody's perspective versus you just saying, oh yeah, back when Thanos was here. Like, okay. Yeah. You know? But I don't know. I know the snap wouldn't have affected these gods. It probably wouldn't have affected Mark Spector, but was Layla snapped? Did that play anything into it? You know, like it could be interesting aspects of these shows and these characters if Marvel really wanted to. But I think Feige's done with the snap, even though they keep referencing it.
Yeah, like we get that they're done with the whole Infinity Saga and just Thanos snapping and all that stuff. But it's like, if y'all done, like we gotta like. Do you think people kind of feel like? Well, I guess I can answer that right now. I just feel robbed of 5 years.
Yeah, did it just skip forward 5 years and that's where all of these are starting? I don't necessarily know that part of it.
Like, I just want to see more stories, like, in the snap. And, like, not have to worry about, like, where this is in the current timeline. Yeah. That's really all I'm getting at, so. But
it would have been an interesting concept for a show. Instead of doing the what ifs, doing, like, the what was. Like, show me everybody's story.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Something. Yeah. Show me everybody's story during the snap or how they dealt with the snap, you know? And it's just one episode for one person and just kind of tell their story. I'd watch that.
Honestly, I feel like they could be, like, they could honestly, like, just throw in just random villains and just random just characters. And you could do a lot of the snap stories. Yeah. Like, if y'all want to test some characters, throw them in. Like this happened during the snap. Like this would have been a great. Well, we don't know what they got planned yet in the future, but this probably could have been a great show if they said during the snap.
Yeah.
You know, like
whole new concept.
I would have been like, oh, this is great. Like I know where we at. You know, for once. But yeah, man, Marvel gotta get it together. So.
They really do.
We just gotta hope and pray that Doctor Strange is, you know, gonna somewhat like get us where we are. I mean, we know it picks up after Spider-Man, but when is that?
Around Christmas, because it's around the same time as Hawkeye, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, just let's go
on.
Yeah, go ahead and hit play and let's keep going.
Yeah. What did you think of this whole scene? I mean, I know you love Ethan Hawke's character, so what did you think of this whole scene where he finally comes like face to face in front of the gods with Oscar Isaac and Khonshu's speaking through him?
For me, it felt like I don't know, for some reason like everybody was against Khonshu. You know, like, and I don't know if like one of the gods, this is one of my early predictions. I think one of the gods is working with like Amit or whatever. Like they want to like see her come back or something like that.
Interesting.
But just the way he was treated, just in that, you know, the whole, what was it, the pyramid, you know, it just felt weird.
The way Khonshu was treated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were quick to take Ethan Hawke's side without like even like trying to verify, you know. Like it was just like really, it was really one-sided. There wasn't like a struggle with trying to figure out who's lying, who's telling the truth.
Right.
It was like Ethan Hawke was super prepared.
Yeah.
Very super prepared. And he laid out some interesting information and some facts, but I would have liked to see more of a struggle with the gods, like, cause he's a god, you know. Like
at least question him.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, like, do your research, gods.
I don't understand, like, so when he walked in, he's like, you know, yeah, I happen to be here, but if everybody who's, you know, here is just here, or however he says it, but basically, like, the Nile would be full of people if, you know, I'm being accused of just being in Egypt. I just happen to be here type of thing. But it's like, you're gods. You can't go see that he's digging for Amit's tomb.
Or look, yeah.
Like, you have no, like, spidey sense for that. I don't get that. They didn't really question or push on anything.
Or even just look into it. They just
Something.
took everything for face value. Like
100%. I'm not a big fan of the way the scene went down. I think it was a good piece of acting.
Yeah.
But I just don't like that they were like, oh yeah, you're right, Arthur Harrow.
Yeah, you're right.
Even though Amit's, well, I guess she's not a god that fell out of favor, that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, that's just her avatar is Arthur Harrow. And he's accusing him of releasing her, but I mean, still, just because
Did
it's
you
a
check
god.
up on it?
Yeah, just because it's a god that's never done anything, does it? Like, don't you? Well, I know they don't meddle in a man's affairs, but don't you see that Arthur Harrow lives in this city, and he's got like all these followers, and these people are dying when he judges them or whatever through Amit. I mean, you don't see any of that. None of that exists.
Yeah, the scene went too smooth for me in Arthur's favor. That's why, for me, I was thinking like maybe some of these guys are in on like whatever Arthur's plan is. Cause like the girl, she was the only one that was kind of like, Cause
she was Khonshu's friend.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like the gods for some reason are against him. But Khonshu, I mean, he ain't really making it easy for himself cause he's got some kind of reputation. So I'm just curious to see like the dynamic going forward.
It's interesting too because earlier in the scene. I think it's Osiris, the main god avatar, whatever. He's saying that the whole point of the gods is like we don't reveal ourselves to the humans. We're not supposed to be doing that. That's not our purpose, type of thing. It's exactly what Amit's doing. Arthur Harrow has this whole village of people that literally follow him. That's what I'm saying. It's just weird to me that you just wouldn't notice that was going on. That Amit's slowly gathering followers, and that's how they derive their power, is by how many people follow them. None of you guys have noticed this? I know you live through your avatars, and they can't be wherever Amit is, but I mean, you have zero sense of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just too... The scene for me, like, I love the acting, I loved everything in the scene, but just the dialogue and the storytelling for me was kind of just like, I guess.
Yeah. And what did you think of him, agreeing in the end? I'm unwell. I need help. Essentially, kind of like, I think everything Arthur Harrow's saying is right.
No, I think he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because he's not like he's dealing with. I don't want to say it's bipolar disorder, but he does have multiple.
Like a schizophrenia type of thing.
So, like he was saying the facts. Like he's not there because he's battling himself, most of the time. So he made a good point. But like I said, it just went too smooth for my liking.
Yeah, they're like he's committed no offense. So
all right, we're out.
Yeah, all those people he sucked their souls. No offense.
Yeah, it's like all right, we're out. Don't do that again, Khonshu, or we're locking you up.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's more to the story, like we said. I love Ethan Hawke. Yeah, I just love him. I really do. And like I said, Oscar's acting is superb.
Oh yeah.
He couldn't have done a better job. As far as all the stuff that he's doing. So shout out to Oscar Isaac. Not I ain't gonna lie, he's probably one of my favorite Marvel characters. I'm really interested in him just because he's really doing this so well. He's really doing this job so well.
Right.
And that's I think he's doing so much of a good job. That's why I don't even care about anybody else showing up because it's
oh yeah.
He's really doing well versus the other show we watched where we're begging for somebody else to show up on the screen.
Help make this show better.
Yes. This is really him and Ethan Hawke are really carrying the show. They are.
I wanted to see what you thought. What did you think of the whole scene where Hathor, who's the other god that's a friend of Khonshu, basically is oh, by the way, Amit's tomb isn't buried where you think it is. You got to go find the Senfu guy, find his sarcophagus, you'll find his tomb, blah, blah, blah. That kind of came out of nowhere for me. I know we were watching it last night. It felt a little rushed. It felt all of a sudden it's hey, there's a way.
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
So then it's is Arthur Harrow digging in the wrong spot?
Yeah.
From this point on, I don't know if I was tired or what. It just kind of lost, it went a little fast for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This, when we were watching this last night, I was kind of all right, what the hell's going on?
Right. Same.
It got to a point to okay, why are they here?
They switched back a lot,
yeah.
and then it was like, okay, it kind of lost me.
Like, I would say this episode, like halfway through, it kind of made it, like, it wasn't easy to follow.
Yes.
It wasn't as easy. You really had to be like, you know, in tune, every scene, like, you know. That's probably the only con I would say for this episode, for the series so far, just in general. Like, some stuff did kind of get like, all right, what the hell's going on? Like, why are we here?
Yeah.
You know, okay, this is a cool scene. Hopefully I'll figure it out in the scene. But, you know, like, you know, it just, a lot of stuff went by, like, really fast.
It really did. And it's like, how did Layla find him?
Yeah. Layla just pops up out of nowhere.
I mean, I guess she's Layla. She did that before, but before she explained it with the phone, you turned your phone on. I thought you wanted me to find you, you know? But I'm like...
Like, what's up?
Yeah, you just knew he'd be looking for the two,
right
I guess.
Place, right time.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like the super convenient stuff, you know. It's like, all right.
I did. Oh, go ahead.
No, I love their dynamic.
I was gonna say I love this scene because of their dynamic.
This scene was really great. We're at the scene where where are they on the boat? Are they going? I don't even know where they're going. But
I think they're on their way to wherever the party is with the actor who died, and where Senfu's what's it called, his sarcophagus apparently is.
Okay. Yeah, like I really love like just their dialogue and just them together. But like I said, I just want to see like the history, because like for her and Mark, like they've obviously went through something, right?
Yeah.
But she fell in love with him at some point. And when Steven comes out, like, it really feels like, you know, she really likes that side of him.
Yeah.
You know?
I think she just loves him in general. She'd love him, whatever personality he is. It's just, you know, there's things that have happened, but I just want to see. I want to know, like, what their story was. That's funny.
Yeah.
But I did really love this scene because you just get a better glimpse of them. This is the first time they're just relaxed and talking, like nothing's going on, nothing's crazy. And then he even references, like, you know, since our wedding, so you know he still cares.
Yeah.
And you know she does too.
Yeah.
And she was hoping he would open up more to her, you know. That's I don't know. It's interesting that they're both reminiscing in this scene. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, what I was gonna say was like I really love the chemistry. Like, and it's a real, like, it's unique because like he's two different people, but like she's able even to like adapt and like just like this is real skill masterclass acting right now. Like I just love them two together, whether it's her and Mark or her and Steven.
Yeah.
Like it just flows. And it's just like really good. You know? And it's also cool to see that like they kind of need both personalities to get like the job done. Because like Mark, he's not as smart as Steven, even though they're the same person. Like,
no,
we even see later on, we're skipping ahead, but we even see later on where they have to switch to Steven to like transcribe or like figure out like how to like do the readings and stuff like that. And I think it's like the first time, you know, in the episode where we see where it's like Mark is reluctantly like willing to like say, all right, you can have a body, you know?
You can have what?
Like you can have a body.
Yeah.
Because Mark hasn't, Steven is giving it up at certain points of the show, but Mark has always been like, all right, I'm here now.
Yeah.
You know, stay in, you know? So it was really cool to see that that whole dynamic, just them just like coming to terms with each other.
Yeah. And then did that ever pay off in this episode? I mean, they see the two guys in the boat coming up behind them in the boat. I don't remember. I know there was a lot going on in this episode, but
yeah,
I don't remember if that paid off.
I don't remember if it paid off. I know he got attacked by the guys, but I don't know if that was... Yeah, I don't know if that paid off. You definitely know Arthur's definitely keeping tabs on Mark. He ain't letting that man out of his sight.
Right.
He got his little, what is it?
Scarab?
Scarab or whatever, but he's still like, nah, I gotta watch. Because, you know, Kanju is, you know, right around the corner, so Ethan always gotta keep his eyes open.
Oh, for sure. It's so funny when we saw this last night. I was so confused when they pulled up and they're like jousting.
Yeah.
Like, but apparently it's like an ancient game that they used to play that now, you know, they just do it to like commemorate that. But I was like, what is going on? I do love the pyramids though. I thought that was so cool. This whole scene is really cool now that I kind of have a better understanding of what's going on. But
Right. Yeah, when we first seen it, I was like, why the hell are they, like, riding horses, jousting?
Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Like, no shirt on. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
You know? But, like you said, it's Egypt, so maybe that's the norm out there.
And they knew each other. Like, I kind of knew that yesterday. I didn't know exactly where. I thought it was maybe like a romantic thing, but no, it just seems like they just knew each other. But I'd want to know how. I mean, maybe they planned to do more with the how.
Yeah.
But kind of can't now because he passed away.
Yeah.
But he did a really great job in this scene for what they did have him for. That's just tragic.
Yeah, it is really tragic. And we found out that it was he's actually a comic book character.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, RP to my guy. But yeah, this scene for me was like very, very interesting because like I don't know what happened. Like things went from 0 to 100.
So now
super quick.
Yeah, now that I'm like reading full on reading the subtitles of this, it looks like I guess he's like a super rich kid or whatever, and it's important for him to preserve history. So that's why he has Senfu's sarcophagus. But I'm like, who is Senfu? Like, I mean, I know she said it in telling him, like, hey, go find the sarcophagus and all that. I just want to know why that's important. Like, they buried Amit there so that, I guess, like, she had so many followers. They didn't want, and, like, that God didn't want to give her the exact location, until it's a trusted person. But it's just interesting to me that this guy just happens to have a sarcophagus. I know
out
rich
in the
people,
open too, you know.
Yeah, I know rich people have cool shit, and maybe this would really exist. It's just so random.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that is a possibility or a thing. It just felt really weird. It felt like they didn't know how to really introduce that aspect of it. But
for me, like,
maybe it's part of the comics, and then we don't know that.
Yeah, for them, like, just getting to this point, like, obviously this is like a sacred tomb, you know, or whatever. But it was just interesting to me that there was, like, really no security. Like, you know, it just seemed like anybody could walk up if you were cool enough to just, let me walk up on it, you know?
Well, is it a sacred tomb? Because I know he has his, like, pyramids built over the sarcophagus. It just seems like his backyard, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That don't seem like a secret, like,
that's what I'm saying. It just seemed like it was something that was really valuable. That, like, I feel like anybody could have walked up on that beach and just been like...
let's go see it.
Yeah, like... they didn't have to like they literally came from a boat and just started walking, you know.
So I mean, I guess he lives on his own island, I guess. But it's just weird that that's where the government would allow an ancient sarcophagus to be located for just your pleasure, I guess. Like you're just an eccentric billionaire that gets to hold sarcophaguses. I don't know. It's just an interesting way to tell that story.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
I do love this scene though. It's so cool just with the glass pyramid around him, and that's how he's like talking to Steven is through the reflection of the roof. This whole scene is just so cool. Like the way it was shot, the way it was filmed, the acting. I mean, I still wasn't 100% sure what, like, is it just a map that happened to lay right on top? I don't know
what was going on.
The weather doesn't affect the map.
Yeah, for me when I was watching this scene, I was like, what's going on? Like, what is he doing? Like, okay. And then it just went from 0 to 100, you know?
Yeah.
Like, real quick.
Yeah, because these guys, I guess, got suspicious.
Yeah. Like, it literally went from 0 to 100. Yeah, well, like, they seen him in there, like, talking to himself and, like, doing all that. But it's like, was it really necessary to just, you know? I don't know. It got super intense.
It did, because it's like, what do you think he's going to do? Steal the sarcophagus?
Yeah, like, what the hell? So to answer your question earlier, where those two guys were on the boat, I guess they went to go tell Arthur like where they at, because this is how Arthur showed up here. Because Arthur's just gonna walk up and like, hey, trust me. You know, even this was kind of like
sketchy. Yeah,
because like, does he even know Arthur?
He knew Layla because he was just saying, I was so ready to make peace with you. So what the hell happened that Layla pissed him off or what?
Yeah, see, so he said we have a third party here, right?
A concerned third party, yeah.
But he just walks up and does everything. Like, nobody's pointing a gun at it. I mean, like, nobody's really, like, Like nobody's checking. Like nobody's threatened by the guy that's the most evil. You know.
And don't you have like an entire island partying right now? Like
yeah.
It's just it was just an interesting scene.
Man, Arthur pulled up with the quickness. He's like, oh.
Right.
You know, this man be keeping tabs, man.
He might be slow on his feet with the glass, but damn, he runs when he needs to.
Yeah, he gets to where he needs to be. He's like, they where? Say no more. This man just pulled up with his cane.
Yeah.
Walking slow.
He knows some stuff though.
Yeah.
From father being murdered, and he's like, your husband doesn't tell you things. Like, damn.
Yeah, he definitely knows some stuff. I don't know how he knows all this stuff anyway. But I'm guessing maybe Amit, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Marvel's got to do, like, I don't know. I can't say Marvel because we got 3 episodes left, so he might do some explaining. But even, like, I didn't know what was he doing. Like, what was his whole purpose there?
Who, Arthur?
Yeah, like, he wanted the tomb for himself. Like, where they were digging, like how you said earlier, that wasn't where she was at.
I guess so. Like, he figured out, okay, this is the real location of the tomb or something. Somehow he just followed him, and maybe he following him knew. Well, so Amit should know where she's buried, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming she's telling him, okay, you need to follow him because that's not where my body is, type of thing. So maybe he knew that way, but we shouldn't be having to guess that.
Yeah.
You know? And then he destroys it.
And just walks off. He's like, all right, I'm out of here. Like, nobody's got their guns.
That guy's not pissed at that happening, you know? Like, they just let him walk.
That's what I'm saying. And they attack Mark out of all people.
Yeah. Well, because, he turned into Moon Knight. But it's just, I mean, you just let Arthur get away with it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. And even for me, like, this scene was kind of badass. It was cool. But to me, it's episode 3, right? Mm-hmm. And we've seen Arthur and Mark in a lot of scenes together, right?
Uh-huh.
I was kind of get annoyed at the fact that Mark just never transforms into Moon Knight when Arthur is there. So they could just, like...
Go at it?
Yeah, do whatever. Like, you know he's trying to stop. Or you know he's trying to, like, wake up Amit, right? And Khonshu has always been in his ear, like, attack him. Just take him out.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's always been a situation or some reason why he never just Moon Knights out and just attacks Arthur.
Well, I know Steven doesn't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's like, bro, you know what this man's trying to do. But I don't even think Steven wants to hurt him. Yeah. Steven will try to do everything he can so that he doesn't hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's why. That's the only reason I can even think of it, though. Because, I mean... In theory, as Moon Knight, you should be able to stop Arthur, but I mean, he would summon Amit. Yeah. We don't know what those powers are. Maybe that's why he avoids him.
Maybe.
It could be. Maybe he's seen him before as Amit.
But Khonshu has been telling him, like, take him out. Like,
crush his windpipe. I'm
like just kill him, you know?
If it's that easy. And
Yeah, that's been my, like, issue, like, for a minute.
So then, okay, he says, give me the body mark. So then he turns into Steven because he doesn't want to choke that guy, right?
Yeah, good night. He turns to good night.
Good night. Yeah. Okay, everybody calm down. And then he gets stabbed here, right?
Yeah, when he got stabbed, I was like, oh, man. They was like, fuck all that
Why are they stabbing him?
Yeah, they was like, fuck all that peace. We throwing these fucking, like...
Yeah, right?
They said, these bullets ain't working. These bullets ain't working. Yeah, and they was going crazy. I was like, man.
And it's interesting. This gives us, like, our first peek at his actual powers. He's kind of, like, they were describing him like Wolverine. He just heals really quickly.
Yeah, because he was dead. They was stabbing the hell out of him.
He was going to die. I was like, shit.
They was stabbing him with no regards.
They really were.
They was like, here's another one.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Layla proves how badass Layla is.
Yeah. This man was getting stabbed. So Mark definitely need to thank Khonshu for these powers because he easily could have been out. Like, could have been gone. Look at this. Stabbed as hell.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't even know how he got up from all those, man. Those are a lot of punctures. Like, I know he got the super healing factor like Wolverine, but goddamn. Like, that was fast as hell.
Because adrenaline. He's trying to protect Layla. That's how you know he loves her.
I didn't even see him pull them out. He just literally broke them on him and they just fell out, you know?
Yeah. He's like, I don't care. I got to protect her.
like that's I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting seeing Moon Knight versus I'm guessing Amit or whatever the villain, because if you have a hero like Moon Knight that technically can't be destroyed, you know, like you know, is there a weakness?
Yeah, if you separate him from Khonshu. Somehow. I don't know if Amit herself can do that or if she would have to convince Mark/Steven to do that. But he wouldn't. That's the powerful thing about Mark for Khonshu, is that he knows he's not going anywhere, because Khonshu is like, I'll just go to my next target. You want to leave? Go ahead. But, you know.
And honestly, for me, I thought like if Khonshu was not a part of like Mark or Steven, then Mark and Steven would die. Like, that's been my assumption.
Is that part of the deal?
I don't think that's part of the deal, because we see Khonshu was gone by the end of the episode, and, you know, Steven and Mark still, you know.
Gone?
alive.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, because they pulled him back and trapped him in, you know, to that dimension. So it's like, I had questions about that.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the episode, I was like, But, I mean, episode 4 is definitely going to tell us more and more about that. But that was definitely something I was looking at. I was like, I mean, Khonshu's gone now, so...
Technically, he could just run off and live his life, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Technically, he could be like...
Would he? But he would have to do that knowing full well Amit's out there trying to take over the world and do that bad shit.
Yep.
So, yeah, he could do that and they'd be fine. But would you really want to do that knowing, you know, all the judgment that's going to come from Amit taking over?
Yeah, it's not like we got any other heroes in Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Trying to step up.
Right? The other gods are like, nope, not my problem.
Like, nah. But yeah, this episode definitely, like I said, it brought up a lot. I ain't gonna lie. Between the first episode and the second episode, it's kind of like there's really nothing you can really like say, huh. But this episode was kind of the episode where you was like, you know, you kind of looked at like a lot of stuff like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah.
But it's still good though.
Oh, 100%.
Still a good show.
Still invested in it.
Still invested. And right now we're at the point where they're trying to figure out the
map.
The map. Because for me, when I was watching this scene, I was like, what is the plan? Like...
This?
Yeah, like, I was like, that's why I said, like, I think the second half of the show was kind of like, you know, all right, what's really going on here? So Arthur already did what he did at the site that they crashed. Mm-hmm. So now what? You know, like, is this the extra plan? You know?
Yeah, now that you say that, like, I was trying to figure out why he wanted to know what the sky looked like. Like, obviously... Or not obviously, but I guess they're trying to compare the map to what the sky looked like the day that they banished Amit, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's what they're trying to do. I mean, I assume Layla is able to see it. Like, Steven puts the map together because Mark gives him control of the body, right? And Steven's like, oh, I've seen this, and, like, puts it all together, like, super easy. Mm-hmm. And then Layla, I assume, is reading it when they do that really cool scene, which I thought was a great scene, where him and Khonshu are, like, doing the whole, like, stars. Cool. That looked amazing. I mean, can you imagine seeing that?
Man.
Just looking up and seeing that in the sky? That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand that part of it. I want to know why. I don't get that part of it fully. Yeah. You know?
That was a cool fun fact that they pointed out. They said Egyptians came up with modern navigation. I was like, learned something today.
Right?
You know, when I watched it for the first time. But yeah, for me, so I think I was lost. I think I was trying to figure out, like, why are they doing this? Like, why are they doing the whole, you know, time thing, like, with the start? Like, what's, like...
Yeah, because the sarcophagus got destroyed. But I wonder if... I think that's going to point to the actual location of her tomb. I think Senfu's sarcophagus didn't matter, and I think Arthur Harrow destroyed it thinking that those papers were still in there. And he had already swiped them. I think.
Okay.
If that would be my theory.
That's a good, nice theory.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see this working and understand it. So yeah, so Senfu marked that tomb 2,000 years ago, and obviously the sky looked differently. So Oh, okay. So So Senfu's tomb had that map, marked it 2,000 years ago where Amit's actually buried. The map is to her actual burial. Mm-hmm. But they didn't know what the sky looked like 2,000 years ago. So obviously Senfu looked at it differently. And so Khonshu's like, oh, I remember that night. And every night since. And so that's when he did the whole night thing. That's what it is.
Gotcha. Look at you, bringing it back. You know
just now, because we're watching.
Look at you, man, making a sense of it all. That's what I'm talking about. But so that was a beautiful scene. I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty cool. And we kind of seen it in the trailers, but not like how you see it on the show. But we're actually on the scene right now. But it was a beautiful scene. And do you think Khonshu is like changing his ways at this point? Like, cause he knows that he's done some fucked up stuff. Like he knows.
Obviously he has to know.
So do you think like at this point he knows what's gonna happen to him? Do you think Khonshu is like at his turning point? Like,
I would hope at least that Khonshu as a god is wiser than just his own like, I want this to happen, so it needs to happen. I would hope he looks at Arthur Harrow and is like, oh shit, what did I create? You know, I feel like, I mean, if I were a god, that would be motivation for me to do better. Because it's like, if I created an Arthur Harrow and he's out here trying to resurrect Amit and do all of that, like, what did I do wrong, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would hope so, and it seems like maybe. Because he seems like reminiscing where he's like, I remember every night since then, you know?
Yeah.
And the whole night sky thing was just so cool to do. And he knew it was going to, attract the gods, and he was going to have to get, like, banished turned into stone, I think is what they called it.
Yeah.
And he already knew that. He said, you and Steven and Mark are going to have to come get me and blah, blah, blah. But that was the only way for them to figure this out. So, I mean, he's doing things to help. He knew he was going to... He actually did that, like you were saying earlier. He did that knowing he was going to be put in stone and could potentially never be released.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if Mark really wanted to, he could, I think, based on the rules, he could run off and not, not be his avatar anymore.
Yeah, because I think for me, Mark and Khonshu have an interesting relationship. And what he says before he goes, he's like, tell Mark to come and find me, or tell Mark to release me, you know? So, like, for me, that's some kind of trust.
Yeah.
To trust that he, that he's going to do that, knowing the relationship. Like, we just heard the scene where they were talking about, I can't do that, He was pretty much saying, I'm not stable. Like, he took advantage of me,
Yeah.
So we're fresh off of seeing that, and then we see Khonshu say, like, tell Mark to go and get, So I'm really wondering, like, I think he's changing his ways.
Yeah.
I think slowly but surely. I think dropping the kid, maybe that. I think maybe that finally, like, was the breaking point. Was like,
he really thought he would talk.
He's like, you know what? Went wrong with Arthur. They've been going crazy with Mark, and now this kid just died. So changing my God ways, and let's do the right thing.
Better late than never,
Yeah, because like it feels like for me, Khonshu's goal is to stop Amit.
Yeah.
Like that's what he really cares about.
Yeah.
That's all he really cares about. So for him to go this far, and like risk himself being like banished forever, that's like.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's
a
big
is.
deal.
I mean, it's the end of him, honestly.
Yeah.
At the end, I think that's just no choice. Yeah. I mean, they're basically saying it too. Like Arthur here is like, I just need to see him. Tell him you did this.
Yeah. I think this is a great scene, man.
Yeah.
Like just when I thought like I couldn't like Ethan Hawke's character like even more. This was just a great scene. Like this is how you do a villain, man. Like I am glad to see Ethan Hawke getting his moment in this show, showing his range, just being a villain. Hawkeye, take some notes and learn how to use top tier stellar actors as villains, okay?
Right.
Because I was so disappointed with your girl's performance. What's her name?
Oh, Vera Farmiga.
Very talented actor. Could have been used in so many different ways.
I can only imagine if she was used like this.
Ethan Hawke out here doing his thing. So we're back at the scene at the end where he's just like really talking to Khonshu, like, because he hasn't really got a chance to actually talk to him like this whole series.
Yeah.
Like he's honestly been making assumptions like, oh, that's him there talking, huh? That's him. Oh, he's right there, huh? But this is the first time I think he's actually got the chance to talk to him and like tell him how he felt, like, and what he did, you know, like he's actually looking at him,
Yeah.
like, and being able to like just like really like he could just feel it. Like he really went through some stuff being his avatar, like at one point.
He made it seem like a very traumatic event. He's like, you know, you forged me. You know, I owe my victory to you. You were the reason that I am basically doing all of this. If you hadn't broken me so completely, I wouldn't have done all of this.
Yeah, and you're like, damn.
Yeah, that's
like you leave the episode like,
hey,
like, I mean, damn, Khonshu, you know, like, what did you do to this man?
It makes, because I like Khonshu since he's been with Mark.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he was like with Arthur.
We don't know what he did with Arthur,
So, I mean, he could have been a real jerk. And it's just, I don't know. You think we're going to get a different side of Khonshu? Do you think we're going to feel differently about him if they go back and they're like, how bad was he?
I think, unfortunately, we have to get a different side of Khonshu because, like, now Khonshu is on Mark's terms. And before, it was kind of like, Khonshu was like, look, bro, if you don't do this, I'm just going to move on to the next body. So, like, let's get it going. So now Khonshu is at a place where he needs Mark, you know. And we don't really know if Mark needs Khonshu at this point. Does he really need him? No.
Mark doesn't, but Steven has a conscience. And Layla too. Layla, who did she tell that to? Oh, she told him. She's like, you know, just to be clear, I'm only here for myself and the thousands of other people that would die if Arthur Harrow wins or does all of this.
Yeah.
So she cares too.
Yeah.
I think even if she would be spared and so would Mark, she would be like, you know, he can take me as an avatar, but these people need to be saved. And Mark's not gonna let that happen. Neither is Steven.
Yeah.
So that's where I think or where I think it is right now, but it's gonna be interesting to see episode 4.
Yeah.
That's for damn
I like how they gave us no teasers or anything, like,
good.
as far as like episode 4. Like, that was brilliant. That was great.
Well, you know what's crazy is that when they release these, they release the first 4 episodes for people to like watch ahead of time. Yeah. They haven't released the last 2.
Yeah, so nobody's seen the last 2, yeah.
So that's kind of exciting. I want to know what those last 2 episodes are going to have in them.
Yeah.
Shifty said, I heard they're going to introduce a vampire to create a storyline for Blade now.
They should, honestly, man. Like, we've been saying how great this show has been without cameos, but knowing that it's in the MCU, they gotta have some kind of cameos, man.
In this show?
Yeah.
Really?
I think you have to, because you got too many characters, man. Like, look at WandaVision. We got introduced to so many different new characters. Actually,
Agatha, Monica.
Yeah, actually, Agatha and Monica. We're not gonna count Ralph Boner.
No, God, no. I got introduced to Darcy.
Yeah. Like, WandaVision introduced us and expanded the roles of like so many characters that we've seen and some that we haven't. And even Falcon and Winter. Honestly, all the shows have kind of introduced somebody else new in their show. So if you think about Loki, Sylvie, you know, what other show came out? Falcon and Winter Soldier. We got New Cap, you know, and we
Wanda
got
with the 2 kids.
Yeah, we got New Cap and
Monica Rambeau.
See, this is my issue with Marvel. We done had all this stuff go on. And we was even building at one point to like a villain. Where the hell is Val?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
she's just in the background picking up the ones she wants. She's just assembling the Dark Avengers. She's Nick Furying it. That's all she's doing.
But like at a certain point in watching the shows, we were on a build up to like, oh, we seen her in something. We seen her in something again.
It's not fair though, because we saw her in Black Widow. Doesn't count because that was not supposed to come out last year.
Okay.
And then in
Falcon and
Winter Soldier. Did we see her again?
I don't think we did.
It'd been interesting if we would have seen her in Hawkeye.
We should have.
I know.
Like, even so, it's like, and this is off topic, but it's like I forgot that Val was even a villain in the MCU, or just she was, because we got so many different other stuff going on, Like I forgot that she's in the background doing stuff.
That's true.
Like we gotta do better, Marvel, at establishing one villain at a time. Let's put him in jail or something for a little bit, and then move on to the next villain. Let's just not have all these villains out here running around just doing the most, man.
Oh, she's probably working up in Madripoor with Homegirl. So Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon's a villain now. Another new villain.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
So, I don't know. Honestly, I think what Marvel should have done, and I probably would have hated them if they did this. I think they should have kept Falcon and Winter Soldier and released it maybe this year.
Really?
Yeah, because like that story happened, but where do we pick up on the story in the current MCU like timeline of like movies and stuff released?
Oh, I see. You're saying it should have been released later to kind of coincide with Captain America 4?
Or any like Earth-based story that's like Val, like because you introduced her first. No, actually, they introduced her in Captain
Black Widow.
It was Black Widow first.
It was supposed to be.
Okay.
I don't remember which came out first. Black Widow was July. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, was in May-ish.
Yeah. Falcon and Winter Soldier came out, I want to say, in March. And Black Widow, was it?
March 2021, you were right.
Black Widow, was it that summer?
Black Widow was July. It was the first summer, end of May, beginning of July.
Okay.
But technically, she was supposed to have been introduced first in Marvel.
Yeah,
movies.
so honestly, they should have released Black Widow. And we should have seen Val there. And not know who she was. Right? Honestly, Val should have been in Hawkeye.
See, Elena was. Why not? They should have had Val in her ear, just been like, he did this. Don't forget, he killed your sister. Something.
Or just like, hey, you didn't finish your contract. What the hell? Now we're coming after you. Like
that would have been a great. What's it called? What's that called? End credit.
that.
Yeah.
What would have saved Hawkeye, our favorite show? Literally, if they would have had an end credit of Val trying to contact Yelena, being like, hey, you didn't finish your
Job's
job.
not done.
So now I gotta send New Cap after you to take you down.
Something, yeah.
Like, cause like that would have been great. Like, but
yeah.
Who are we? Just
what do we know, right?
Streamers, reacting to content and whatnot. But I totally forgot about Val this whole time.
Right, until you said it.
And that just shows how many there's too many things going on in MCU right now. But we love what Moon Knight has been giving us so far. What would you rank it, or what would you rate it as far as like this episode thus far?
1 to 5?
Yeah, what would you give it?
I give it a 4. I mean,
Okay.
I wanted to do 3.5 because it just confused me. I mean, now that I watched it again, I understand it more. And I just love the Egypt aspect of it. The fact that they were in the pyramid and all of that, and the gods aspect. So that saved it for me. I'd give it a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gave both episodes a 5. I'm gonna give this one a 4 also. Just because it was a great episode, don't get me wrong. But if I'm comparing it to the first 2 episodes, I kind of felt a little not lost, but I feel like even though this is 51 minutes, kudos to the director for making these 50 minutes. I did somewhere along the way kind of as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
So, and imagine if you didn't have subtitles. Oh my God.
I don't know how people watch stuff without. I wish movies came in subtitles in the theater.
Man.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Still a solid, still a great episode. Still loving what we've seen so far. And we don't really have any issues with the show. The only issues we've brought up is, just the continuity of the MCU.
Yeah, as always.
And they're getting better. WandaVision, not WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness is coming soon, so honestly, I'm really expecting Marvel to catch us up on where we are when this movie comes out. Because think about this, right? This is technically the first MCU movie after Endgame, the real first.
Aside from
Marvel.
Spider-Man.
That was Sony. So
True.
yeah, it was Marvel, but it was kind of Sony trying to like go out with a bang. Oh, all 3 Spider-Man. Like, yeah, forget everything else that happened. We got all 3 Spider-Man and Doctor Strange in here. But this is gonna be the first actual movie that like references like just the Avengers, Wanda, Doctor Strange, Wong, Shang-Chi. I won't really count it because it was something new.
Yeah.
Trying to be established on what's already done.
He's not gonna show up in this.
Black Widow, don't really count it. It was before everything. Eternals, don't really count it because they're trying to establish the whole Eternals franchise, and they just kept saying MCU stuff in the movie. I didn't really count that. But this Doctor Strange, he was actually a part of the battle in Endgame and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was there. He knows everybody except Spider-Man now. Mm-hmm. And this is gonna actually be where we are in the MCU. This movie, like, I feel like this movie it has to catch us up. Like, as far as where the hell we are right now.
It's only a 2.5 hour movie though.
But it has to catch, like...
You would hope.
Because one thing that this movie is gonna do, we definitely know that it happens after WandaVision. Thank God. Like, we know that...
Which was after the snap, right?
Yeah,
it was after Viz.
It was like a month after Endgame.
Yeah.
That's what WandaVision they said.
Right.
So we finally know something movie related where this is at.
But we also know that we don't know how much after WandaVision it is.
True.
I don't know if they'll tell us that part even. Because we just know she's on her own. She's in like this cabin or whatever, pruning her trees and all of that. Is that the same cabin, or she's in her place? Is it the same cabin she was at the end of WandaVision? Was she just there learning her Darkhold, magic?
For how long?
And then moved on to this place and settled there for years, for a few months?
Yeah.
That part, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they give us that. I hope so.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We got 3 episodes until Doctor Strange Mom comes out.
Crazy.
That's the abbreviation, Mom.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, Doctor Strange Mom. But I'm not gonna lie. I've been saying I've been loving the non-cameo so far, but by episode 5 or 6, I need a cameo. Because look, they know that this is coming out before Multiverse of Madness, right? So if I'm the director and this is my show and I got a one shot, I need that last episode to compete with I need that last episode to go crazy. And like it can honestly be a post credit, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
It could honestly be a post credit. You don't even have to involve it in the show. But that post credit for Moon Knight needs to be like fire. Like, because you need to be excited about Moon Knight going forward because you don't know where you're going to see him again.
Yeah, that's true.
So they definitely like in the series or the show in Egypt, whatever. But we need some kind of tag or something to where could we possibly see him again?
Moon Knight will be back in season 2.
Don't do that.
Don't Loki it.
Don't do that to us, Marvel. Like,
I mean, if it tells you.
just go ahead and include him into somewhere. They also need to establish Blade somewhere along the line. So, I mean, I could see Blade maybe fit into this, like with the vampires and stuff like that. So,
Interesting.
I could see Blade fit into this. You know.
Who do you think is most likely to be a cameo?
I think honestly, Blade. Not Blade, but
Mahershala in the show?
I don't think I will see him in the show, but I can honestly see the guy from the Eternals,
Kit
Black
Harington?
Knight.
Oh,
What was
okay.
his name? Black Knight.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I feel like I don't know if there's some kind of connection, like just about because like his father was somebody in the or just their family like heritage, like
They were
the Black Knight is like
Irish
really
or something, yeah.
The Black Knight was like a strong like thing,
Character.
and when you hold the sword, like I just feel like they're gonna try to connect that because like for me honestly, Eternals, like yeah they're trying to establish their whole thing, and we'll get that whenever we get that. But like for that whole like Black Knight stuff, like we kind of need to see him in something soon before we forget about his ass.
I already forgot until you said
Exactly. we can't wait for Eternals 2 in 2025 for them to, because like that's kind of a side story. Like what he's going through and what the Eternals are going through. Like he's going through something completely different from Cersei and all them, wherever the hell they at.
Well, I think that's why it's now that you say that, maybe that's why they had Arishem come back and take Cersei. Because now he can go be in the Avengers or whichever, Dark Avengers or whatever, and have his story. And Eternals, Cersei's story is going to continue in Eternals.
Yeah.
So he can now either have his own movie, which I don't know yet, or...
That's what I'm saying. I think he has to cross over into a show or something to build up to whatever series, movie, whatever. Like, we got to get more of his character. Because he's supposed to be a big character.
Really?
You know, in the comics. I didn't really read the comics and stuff, but so... I just think we gotta see Moon Knight has to set up like the launch pad for somebody like that's not gonna get like major screen time in the future. Mm-hmm. And Blade, they've announced the movie, but they haven't even announced when it's coming out. So I don't know. I would like to see Kit Harington. I like to see him pop up in here somehow. Like, I could see at the end, Steven is at like a coffee shop in Egypt or something like that. Mm-hmm. And like, he just happens to run across like, you know, just somebody, and they have a conversation about like Egyptian stuff. And he's like, oh, you know, just something small like that to know like, oh man, these guys are about to do something, you know? So, I don't know. That's where I could see a cameo.
Interesting.
Honestly, because like, based on what Marvel has released, I can't really see anybody else popping up in Moon Knight. Who can you think of from the MCU right now that could just show up in Moon Knight, be like, yo, we need you, or just, hey, I'm here?
The only one, maybe, just because I know he was doing, I don't know what you would call them, missions or whatever, kind of like that, is Cap. Maybe, remember in the beginning New Cap. Remember in his, in the beginning of his series that they were in some like Rocky Canyon area, but he was, I mean, traveling to different places in the world. Where was it on, where did that show take place? What's his name? He was killed overseas, with the Shield. Where was that?
I forgot where it was.
It was where all the kids, I can't even remember their names right now either, but the group basically. So
Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers, you're right, yeah. So, I mean, it's not out of the question that he could be maybe showing up there because he heard about all this going on and he's maybe sent to investigate. Maybe,
I don't know, he's Captain America now, though.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like...
I can't see, other than that, you're right. It's got to be like Black Knight or even Blade. Otherwise, none of them really make sense.
Yeah, because I can't think of anybody. Shang-Chi, maybe? No.
Well... Is there a dragon? No. There's two. Let's say, is there a dragon god? That's all I was going to say.
Different
totally different cultures. Yeah.
way different cultures.
Totally different cultures. Yeah. It would have to only be Blade or Kit Harington.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, we just got to wait and see if somebody pops out. If not, I wouldn't be too mad. Only because I know Doctor Strange comes out that week.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, that movie's going to be crazy. Everybody's waiting for the Thor trailer. Honestly, I'm just ready to see this damn Multiverse of Madness. We see so many different TV spots and like seeing if we can see different things. Like, man, just give us the damn movie already, man. Teasing us every 30 minutes.
You know what's funny? I never knew Marvel did that. That they took out like certain scenes or like did Easter eggs. I just always took it at face value, and now I'm like questioning everything because now I know that they actually purposely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A perfect example was Morbius. Like they like
I'm Venom. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, nah.
No, he let that man be so scared.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I just fucked her hand up.
Yeah.
Move on. So, fix that.
Yeah, that was scary.
I was like, yeah, but I don't know. But let us know you guys' thoughts in the comments. If you guys are watching this during the playback, who would you like to see pop up on the Moon Knight cameo just to help your boy out? And let us know what you guys think of the episode so far, or the series so far. My bold prediction is by the end of the series, we see him team up with, the Black Knight and Blade, and they do like a whole team or whatever. But who knows? The sky's the limit. So, you got any last predictions or any last comments before we head out?
I just can't wait till episode 4 and 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And then that end credit that we already predicted.
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking forward to it too. But This has been another raw, real reaction of Moon Knight episode 3. We'll be back for episode 4. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And yeah, stay positive. Always try to be the best person you can be. You can be what or whoever you want to be in life. Just look at me, all right? We'll catch you guys on the next stream. Until then, peace.